you how to prepare an easy meal in the kitchen that's almost completely low kitchen. This meal was inspired by eating in the menu of Hillside Pharmacy, a local restaurant here in Austin, Texas. Right now we're picking a cucumber from my garden and we are going to use it to make pickles. Katie's checking for potatoes like this one to make our mashed potatoes. I'm picking onions from my backyard and we are going to use them in the mashed potatoes. Now we're going to pick some shallots for the mashed potatoes as well as the onions, and we're going to saute them with the onions and put them on top. Okay, so now Liora is pulling up chives, which we're going to put in the mashed potatoes. Harvesting or picking some rosemary, which we're going to use to flavor it. So now we're going to wash the things we picked, as well as some of the things that we got from other places. So these are potatoes from Greengate Farms. They're local and fresh, and they're gonna taste really good. These are garlic. This is garlic from Greengate Farms too, and it will and shallots and stuff. And this will also be part of it. Here is the one garlic clove that we have. And then these are all shallots. Here is organic dill. And it has no GMOs or anything. And it's going to be used in the pickles. And here are bird's eye peppers. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill up this pot with water to boil for the mashed potatoes, which we're going to slice up and mash, essentially, to make the mashed potatoes. You want to get a pot and fill it with water, and you want to set the stove to high until it boils. And once it boils, you want to put the potatoes in, which are still currently being washed, which I can cut up right now. So now we're peeling and cutting the potatoes, which essentially we want to do in about 1-inch cubes, you could call them. And you want the potato to be halfway peeled. If it's a larger potato, if it's a smaller potato, then you don't really have to keep the skin on. Okay, so now once the water is boiling and the potatoes are all cut, you want to put them in the pot carefully by just sliding them off the board, as Katie is demonstrating. So now for the still baking mashed potatoes, we're going to saute some onions and shallots. And first we're going to put some butter in it. This is non-local butter. But we put it in the stove, and while the shallots and the onions are still being cut by Katie, we have the stove on very low because butter goes very quickly, and we're going to add in the shallots, which Katie is adding in right now, and they'll saute. These shallots are from Greengate Farms, by the way. And we're going to peel and cut the red onions. Really good. We're going to add in our sauteed stuff pretty soon. And, well, right now. So we're just going to put it in. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is you want to add some milk to the sauteed scallions and onions. And then you want to drain the mashed potatoes, which ours we already drained, and mash them. And don't do high movements or else they'll flip out like you can see over here. So now that we have our basic mashed potatoes finished, we're going to add in some salt and pepper. first, the pepper. You want to grind it in, but not too much because it's, well, pepper. Now, when we tasted it, it was a bit flavorless, what we had. So we decided that some salt and pepper would go really good in it. Also, some chives and some rosemary would also go good in it. You don't want to make it too salty, so if it gets too salty, just add a bit more pepper, but not too much. And the chives and the rosemary are ready to go in it, and we can mash it in, and voila, these are our finished mashed potatoes. So now I am cutting the cucumbers with this mandolin. What you want to do now is put your cucumbers in the 1 pint jar, and then you're going to add the other ingredients to flavor the pickles. So now I'm going to add in the garlic, which I peeled and smushed. I'm going to add the dill, which I washed. I'm going to add 3 of the bird's eye peppers. So these are the bird's eye peppers. These are my special ingredient, and now I'm going to put in some salt. I'll just put a little in the spoon. Might be too much. I personally like salty pickles, so I'm gonna add in a little more than usual. This much. I'm gonna put it in. And now I'm going to add in some white vinegar. And since I'm doing about half of the recipe, because I don't have much cucumbers, I'm going to do 1/4 cup instead. So, I might add a tiny bit more. There. I'm gonna pour this in. I'm going to check the pickles, which have been in the fridge for a while. See? Really good. Go. So we're gonna make a bean sprout salad too, and what you want to do when you're making a bean sprout salad is you want to take a bean sprout, take off the roots. You want to keep the leafy part, it's good for you. It's the main part, and then you put the bean sprout into the bowl. Added a bit of lettuce. So after we prepared the bean sprouts and got the roots off, we're going to make the dressing. We need 1/4 cup of olive oil, and we're going to do 1 or so teaspoons of homemade red wine vinegar. So I'm going to measure this into 1 tablespoon. Oops. And I'm going to pour it in. And now I'm going to smush some shallots.
Fantastic.
Like a local meal. Sustainability, so we've been visiting farms, learning about different types of sustainability.
I really like your salad dressing.
Thank you.
I mean, it's not overpowering. It's a little tangy. Whoop. It's a little tangy.